What is up? What is up? Let me know in the chat if everybody can hear me loud and clear. And if the audio is working, guys. Good to be back on stream. A little bit of a different setup. So just making sure you guys can hear me and everything is working. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Yeah, so I think everything is working. Fantastic. So I'm using actually a second laptop to film, or a second laptop to host the stream on. And in the meantime, on my main laptop, I'm sharing my screen. So a bit of a different setup as opposed to usually in the Netherlands. But obviously now we're in Brazil, guys. So fantastic to be back with all of you. Hope everybody has been having a good few days without me. Without me, obviously I've been active, but I've been traveling a lot, been recovering from the jet lag. Obviously it's a 16-hour flight in total to kind of get to the destination, and that excludes kind of like the travel time. So it took me quite some time to kind of like feel normal again, but we're back in the rhythm. Luckily the markets haven't been too interesting, if I'm very honest. Everything is moving relatively consolidative besides a few pairs, I would say. So that's pretty much what we're going to be highlighting in today's market update here on the live stream. We're going to answer a few questions and see where everything is potentially heading next. And guys, if anybody who wants to join the Discord, make sure to check the pinned comments here in the comment section or in the chat, or check the description of this video, so you can check over there. Okay, now let's dive in. So I'm going to start with USD CAD. Obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of the USD pairs. It's pretty much the main thing that I trade, and USD CAD is, very honest, kind of like the only pair that I'm actually liking from the dollar pairs. USD CAD is the only one that's still relatively trending and moving somewhere, as opposed to these other pairs, which are just extremely consolidative. Now, USD CAD has been trending higher for quite some time. If we zoom out real quick here on the daily time frame, USD CAD has been in an overall uptrend, obviously since around, let's say, May 2021. It's slowly but surely moving higher and higher. Now, if we focus very purely here on the daily time frame, we can very clearly see that we have a beautiful swing low here and a beautiful swing high, and that the overall market structure is bullish. Now, the overall swing is from this low in towards this high, market retraced back down into discounts, and as you guys know, we look at the overall impulse, and then within that overall impulse, we identify our liquidity, or also known as bumps in the road. Now, we had a final bump in the road all the way down over here, and just below that bump in the road, we had a very strong area of demand. Now, does anybody know why this is a very strong area of demand? Let's see if you guys know why this here is a very strong area of demand. And yes, indeed, because we have liquidity situated right over here. So what happens is that before the overall big push that happened in towards the upside, you can clearly see that the market liquidated the low and then boom, gave us the overall impulse in towards the highs, meaning that the demand zone in itself is based on liquidity. Now, these demand zones are often, more than not, very strong. And as you can see, the new kind of like continuation trend has originated from this area of demand. Now, if we then focus again on the impulsive phase and the corrective phase, we can see that the overall impulses have started to form. Here we had a nice impulse in towards the high. Here we had a nice impulse, and here again we've had a nice impulse, and now here again we've had a nice impulse. So all I'm simply doing is again reevaluating what's happening within the overall impulsive phase. And in this particular situation, we had liquidity over here, because in the impulsive phase we identified liquidity, and once that liquidity got grabbed here, you can see the overall continuation takes place again from where? From the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Now, once again, what do we have? We have here another impulsive phase. And once again, the market is retraced exactly into the 0.5 fib. Sorry, guys. I can see, you cannot see the left bottom of my screen, obviously. So overall, what's happened is that the market has been trending impulsive, pullback, impulsive, pullback, impulsive, pullback, impulsive, and again a pullback. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, again following that overall concept of impulsive phase correction, impulsive phase, USD CAD is now clearly in its impulsive phase, and I'm looking to continue following USD CAD within this impulsive phase in towards a new higher high. Now, Again, within the overall 4-hour swing up, where do we have liquidity? Resting here, resting here, resting here. Obviously, the main point of liquidity that we wanted to focus on was this one here, though the one above it was aligning with the monthly open. Hence why I was already happy to take a long position, which I publicly shared as well with you guys inside my update channel, inside Discord, in towards the highs, and which is around more than 100 pips up ever since. Now, after taking out another... yeah, I can move the face cam, guys. Let me just move that for you. I can move it to the right bottom, yeah? Let's see if this is better for you. Let's do it like this. Maybe this is better. Now, with USD CAD then retracing into this, let's say, liquidity low that we have positioned over here, the market then grabs that liquidity, boom, gives us a strong reversal in towards the highs. The overall internal trend, which was bearish, right? Push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down, boom, push in towards the highs. Meaning that we have an internal structural shift with the breaker structure up, meaning now that we have an impulsive phase over here within the overall greater impulsive phase. So if USD CAD were to reaccumulate, meaning it makes a retracement, and let's say that retracement is this orange zone here, I will be looking for another long position from the overall liquidity low, positioned, for example, over here, or positioned over here. So currently I'm waiting for a potential retracement to occur. We're building a lot of ascending liquidity here on USD CAD, and any potential retracement could provide us with another longing opportunity in towards the end of this week, and yeah, giving us some new potential longs on USD CAD. Why is the Canadian dollar so weak against the US dollar? Mainly has to do with tariffs related to Canada, but also weak data that has been coming out for the Canadian dollar in itself. Okay, so USD CAD is pretty much my top pick at the moment, and pretty much the only pair that I'm really focusing on looking for longs. Focusing then on the other pairs such as a EURUSD. EURUSD for myself is extremely unclear, guys. Again, we've been pushing up in towards the highs this morning. For me, EURUSD is consolidative. It's unclear. I personally do not really have a clear bias on this. I wouldn't be surprised if it does shoot up higher, as we've taken out a lot of liquidity underneath this ascending trend line here. But for me, I cannot really justify taking any long positions if it breaks out, because we're not trading from a strong low, meaning this low here didn't break, for example, this high. So for me, this is just nothing really. EURUSD in itself, if it does push up higher, fine, then I'll just wait for this high here to get taken out, as this is the main bump in the road within this overall impulse down, and then I'll look for a potential short position, or I would prefer for it just to dump in towards the downside. This then becomes lower high, lower low, and then we have a very clear bump in the road here, where we then in the future, for example, then could look for another short from. Yeah, you see the fucking, yeah, the fucking camera, guys, is in the fucking way, man. Fucking shit. I should just leave it on the left as always, man. Yeah, guys, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so meaning again, yeah, guys, if 10 people commented, no need for 100 people, I understand. So meaning that for your USD, again, let me just explain. What I would prefer for it to do is just sell off in towards the downside, and fine, I'm not going to be in it, but I don't really give a fuck, because I would just prefer for it to sell off. This then becomes your internal liquidity, and then in the future, when we see a pullback, then we'll look for a short from that high. But at the moment, I don't really see what it wants, because we're currently trading at a weak demand zone or whatever, because this demand zone, let's say the overall sell down for the buy up, it didn't break this high over here. So for me, this is just a weak low. But at the same time, this is a strong high, this is the weak low, so you expect downward continuation. But the main liquidity point that we have over here hasn't yet been taken out. So for me, it is just, yeah, relatively unclear what the market actually wants. And I'm just giving it, therefore, time to develop. Let's say we push up higher again. We make, for example, a third trendline touch. We see kind of like a short-term bounce down. Then I would like one bounce up, take out all of the trendline liquidity, and then we look for the real short once again. So still favoring some shorts, but yeah, just needs to redevelop and give us something, because at the moment EURUSD is just, it's not clear. For me then USD CAD is a lot more clear than EURUSD. So let's see, how is that a weak low? I just explained why the fuck it was a weak low, guys. Come on, listen. It's a weak low because it didn't break a high. That's what I just literally said. I don't mean it in a bad way, but come on. GBPUSD, GU in itself, guys, what are we seeing? GU is consolidating as well, stuck within a range, moving sideways, not really heading anywhere at the moment. It's really slow as well, not really doing anything for myself. It is, yeah, tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday, we have the budget decision in the UK. However, this is long anticipated that will be very bad for the pound. So I think like most of the selling based on that budget decision has already kind of like been taking place. So probably after tomorrow, we'll see some real moves again on the pound. But until then, not too much. For myself, what I'm ultimately going to be looking for more is, let's say, a retracement up higher. I would prefer that. Looking here at GBPUSD, we've had an impulse in towards the downside. We've had another impulse in towards the downside. And now we're in the reaccumulation phase. Now, this reaccumulation phase just doesn't seem to end at the moment. It's consolidating. So I would prefer for it to head up higher. Take out this high, for example, here. And then from there, we could, for example, look for another short in towards the downside. But here, I don't really see anything as well. Yeah. Don't really see anything here as well, if I'm very honest. Consolidating, people could say they're looking for shorts, but at the same time, you have all of these descending highs. So I wouldn't want to short from these descending highs. So I would prefer for it just to, yeah, move a lot higher for now. Now, one of them pairs that we are looking for, the pairs that I'm looking for mainly is a CAD yen position. So CAD yen, let me just go to CAD yen. CAD yen in itself is relatively bullish. We can very clearly see that we've had a clear trend since, let's say, the beginning of October in towards the upside. We've pushed up higher, retraced back down towards, again, major liquidity, which resonates with the 0.5 fib and with the internal low here. After that, we saw another impulsive phase in towards the highs. Where do we have liquidity at the time? We had liquidity where? Over here, and over here. Now, this low here was then enough again to push the market up higher, together with the 0.5 fib, headed up higher from there. Then, once again, another impulsive phase in towards the highs. It was a relatively strong low here because it liquidated both these lows. And then once again, where do we have liquidity? We had liquidity pretty much here and here. This was then enough again to push the market up higher. And now once again, we have had an impulsive phase from this low towards this high. So now once again, what I'm looking at is two different lows. So we have this low here and we have this low here. And ultimately, what I'm going to be looking for is a long position from this low here with a little bit of a wider stop loss well underneath the yearly open, targeting back in towards the highs. Now, the yen, though, guys, is a very risky pair at the moment because there is potential for government intervention to support the yen in its strength, making any yen further shorts very, very risky. Though I must say it is something that they've been talking about for a longer period of time. And as long as nothing comes into fruition, CAD yen should still be a good long, and furthermore, some yen weakness. So looking still for CAD yen to push up higher. Just looking for the right moment to long it, preferably from these lows here. That would be a nice potential long, together with the fact that here this low liquidated these equal lows, and therefore this low here is a strong low that should not be taken out. So for me, this would be a very valid position to look for a potential long. So CAD yen is one of my top picks at the moment. CAD is indeed weak, but yen seems to be even weaker. Looking quickly at the higher time frame, the only thing that I did not like was the fact that CAD yen has taken this high over here, which is a major liquidity high. Now, taking that into account, if we check, for example, an ADJPY, because I see somebody asking about ADJPY, ADJPY has done the same, hence why I'm not looking for a long at the moment. We can see here that this high has been taken out, 102,400, and from here I do or would be very, very cautious, as it could facilitate an overall deeper retracement in towards the downside. So for me, Aussie yen has pretty much done what it needed to do, and from here I'm kind of like out of the market on this pair. We also have a very clear ascending pattern with the 1 high over here, 2 high, 3 high. So this for me is often a sign that there's potential for a pullback deeper, keeping in mind again what is happening to the yen. Now, what are then other pairs that do maybe have a little bit more potential? Well, an NZD CAD short has potential. I was looking last week at a little bit higher prices, didn't come that high, sadly. Already sold off without us. At the moment, I am looking indeed to see, can we get another short in towards the downside. Overall, what I'll be looking at is, yes, by the way, we took out this internal here. If we see a clear break below here, then you could look for another short. Otherwise, just wait for it to reaccumulate a little bit higher and take out this blue dotted line here, which on the daily time frame is a clear liquidity high over here. So I would like for that to get taken out. What NZD CAD has done in the past with the daily time frame is often take liquidity, and you see that, for example, over here the daily takes out liquidity, over here the daily took out liquidity, and here we still have liquidity open. So I'm still looking at that potentially to be taken out before looking for any sells once again. But if momentum is high and we do start breaking the internal market structure, then you could definitely already look for those potential shorts. But I must say again, guys, everything is looking very, very slow at the moment. I'm not a big fan of what is going on at the moment. So yeah, there's also no connection with that daily supply. Other pairs which are interesting is UJ. UJ is selling off at the moment. I talked about this in the market outlook this morning about some further potential downside. I was looking at a UJ short. Obviously, for quite some time, I've been highlighting these 3 X's. If you watch the market outlook, you know those are points of liquidity. Now we've taken out the second X over here. This second X is a major point of liquidity together with the yearly open. So we hit the yearly open, we've hit that second X, and then looking at the 4-hour time frame, we were trading at a premium. So after the break of structure line, which took place over here. Now, when you're trading that far above it and on top of the yearly open, you can then obviously expect a pullback to happen. The 4-hour time frame, or excuse me, the 1-hour time frame was very nice. As on the 1-hour time frame, what happened? Push up, strong push down, boom, liquidates the real early sellers on these 2 bearish candlesticks. It liquidates them, and then it starts heading down lower. Then impulse from this high to this low. Where's the bump in the road? Here. Takes up the bump in the road here. And then here was the change of character in towards the downside. So there was a relatively nice short position to be taken, and relatively clean for some shorts, and still looking for this to head down lower. I still see this heading towards this blue dotted line over here in the medium to short term. So I still see another, 90 pip drop for USD JPY. Yeah, definitely. So looking at for USD JPY, gold we haven't talked about yet. Gold is still very bullish. I've been talking about this as well in every daily market outlook. What's happened is that we have liquidated the low of this bearish candlestick. After that got liquidated, we saw that the market turned around because we broke the low here and then we broke the high here. So market structure shift, meaning we have a swing low here, we have a swing high here, meaning that you have a premium versus discount tool here. Market retraces into discount, hits the monthly open level, and then what happens? The internal trend shifted from bearish to bullish, then another break in towards the highs, and all I'm simply doing is waiting for continuation trades. I highlighted already last week that gold was a good buy when we had this here as your impulse. Within the impulse, you identify your liquidity lows, and where was liquidity located? Let me quickly check, by the way. I see. I see, guys. My screen is very strange. I only realize now, man. Like this. This is better for everyone. So on gold, we then had the impulsive phase, and within the impulsive phase, where's the liquidity? Liquidity is, for example, here or here or here. And what happened is that we pretty much came to lows low, and again, no need to really use your brain, just keep it nice and simple. We've already rejected the monthly open, and then back up to the highs. Easy 1 to 2. Yeah, I highlighted this many days of the week, and yeah, some great price action there. So good to see. Now overall, another impulse in towards the highs has happened now here. And again, within this impulse, after seeing a break of structure, you're waiting for the reaccumulation to happen. And reaccumulation happened this morning towards this internal low. You also have this low, you also have this low, you also have, for example, this low. For me, the most significant one is pretty much the low here at the bottom, though it's very deep. For the rest, I would focus on this low here of around 40.63. It's already taken out now 4112, and once it took that out on the 15-minute time frame now, you're starting to see a change of character. So this has potential just to continue pushing up higher. What I would prefer to see happening here is for the market just to continue shooting up. Currently in sells, okay. I would prefer for it to shoot up and then for internal liquidity to be created by, for example, this then. And then in the future, again, take out that low and then look for another long opportunity. So that's kind of like the next gold long. I'm still bullish. For me, gold is still bullish. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking for sells. But that's my opinion. Euro yen. Yeah, so some of these yen pairs need a bit of a deeper retracement still. Euro yen in itself here, 4-hour time frame wise, needs a deeper retracement back down towards, for example, the monthly open here. Some liquidity lows need to be hit. So yeah, currently not at very ideal levels. Needs to make a deeper retracement. Still a lot of ascending lows here, so waiting for that to make a deeper retracement. Euro NZD, not really interesting. GBP NZD has been pushing up higher. I was waiting for GN to tap the monthly open level. I talked about this, I think, last week as well. But it's already retraced enough, apparently. So here we have the 0.5 fib again, enough together with the demands on here to then push it up higher. So we've now created a new impulsive phase here in towards the highs. And once we see a future retracement, we could look for a new long opportunity on, for example, this low or this low, maybe with the free monthly open. So keeping an eye on that as well. Yeah, gold is very bullish fundamentally. Dixie. Let's have a look at Dixie. Yeah, so Dixie indeed finally selling off now here on New York Open. Overall, it's still bullish, but it's very weak. Let's see if the monthly open is enough to push it up higher again. We have a lot of ascending lows. So if the monthly open is not enough to push it up higher, then I just see this dumping a lot deeper, if I'm very honest. The monthly open is kind of like the only thing that can save it, together with the low of the range that it's currently in. That's why also I wouldn't really want to sell EURUSD, not get into GBPUSD sells. like if the dollar index doesn't find support on this monthly open, then yeah, it can just head down a lot lower, right? So let's monitor that. That's why I'm personally not really in those dollar positions, except for USD CAD, just because the rest is really poor price action. So I'm just waiting for the better conditions. Somebody asked me, but Fab, how long do you then not be in, for example, trades, or what's the longest period that you're not in a trade for? Now, for example, now on EURUSD, I think the last trade was around the 11th of November or so, like 2 weeks. So for me, it's perfectly fine to be even 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, or even a month not in a trade on a EURUSD, for example. I'll just wait for the right opportunity, and then with the funding that I have, I just need one setup, and then I can make more than enough percentage-wise on that one setup to live comfortably. So all I'm doing is just waiting for the right opportunity, and you guys should do the same. Yeah, let's have a look at G-Swiss as well, and the Swiss pairs in general. So G-Swiss continues to push up higher. I was waiting for this to give us a potential short, though it seems it wants to move a little bit higher for now. It can move as high as pretty much, yeah, this over here. I think the 3 monthly open should kind of like provide it with a pullback. At the moment, it's just too bullish. Yeah, what's it done? It's liquidated this low here and it had a second low here. The first low was apparently enough already to push it up higher. It's a dangerous pair at the moment. Yeah, with what we have going on in the UK, we need to be very cautious with the pound at the moment. But for me, it still has some room now to push up higher now that it's broken above these highs. I was looking at the monthly open as well for those shorts. Demand remained in control here. The highest probability sell was obviously if we then broke, boom, boom. But for now, the internal trend has prevailed, and this should keep pushing as long as that internal trend just remains in control. For now, the demand zone here is now in control. So yeah, don't set it until we see a clear trend shift. That's what we should wait for. Yeah, 1 TP is enough for the month. That's something that will change everybody's perspective. Yeah, so Euro Swiss is in an interesting spot. It's now at the 3 monthly open, and it's taken out some major liquidity. To be very honest, I've always sworn that I would never, ever trade Euro Swiss, just because this thing is as ugly as something that's very ugly. It's up to you guys to think of something that's very ugly. This thing is so consolidative, so rangy, that all you pretty much want to be doing very often is just sticking to the extremes. At the moment, I don't really like anything about it except for the fact that it's taken out a daily high here and it's at the 3 monthly open. So yeah, I mean, that can cause the overall retracement to happen. We are in a relatively strong daily supply zone here that liquidated this high here with the X to get the 3 monthly open. This could cause a push down. Just keep waiting for some confirmation. CAD Swiss in its turn is so slow as well, and again, guys, the markets have been literally very tricky, because yeah, you cannot really do much. At least I cannot really do much with this kind of price action here. Still, it is bearish, right? So we have a swing high, yes. We have a swing low, yes. It's come up to the highs. It's taken what? It's taken out pretty much liquidity here, though there's one thing, and that is that we have liquidity here still. So be cautious. Wait to see how the market reacts in this place. Wait and give it time. So I would say let's see what happens when because we've liquidated this high here, this little high. So let's wait and see if we can get a drop, strong breakout, and then the retest, and then I would get in. Otherwise, just stay out of it at the moment. Wait for the momentum to come. But yeah, the whole market is. I'll do like this, guys. Then you can see my whole screen. CAD Swiss. The whole market is just slow at the moment, guys. If I'm very honest, and I feel kind of like guilty in a way, because every day I have to do a daily market update for you guys. But there's just not really much that I can say. Then I'm waiting. I'm preserving my capital. I don't trade the 50-minute time frame like some dopamine junkie who wants to be flexing on Instagram that he's in a position every day. I have my live accounts, and all I'm doing is just waiting in the bushes for the right opportunity to come. And if the right opportunity is not really there, like USD CAD was for me a great opportunity. That was a great opportunity, the buy that we took here and the skill in. For the rest, I'm just chilling. So just waiting, and I don't really see anything. Like even like a USD CHF, like look at the daily, guys. Like this thing is also like it's stuck, man. It's stuck. I think you guys can see it as well. So yeah, NZD CHF. This is obviously also very bearish. This is maybe one of the more interesting pairs. I'm looking for this just to move up a little higher and then look for a sell. I'm looking at the blue dotted line here of 0.45545. I think that because this wick doesn't count, this is a rollover wick, so of like spreads. Obviously, the highest probability setup will come from the blue dotted line here. This is a sell that I'm happy to take, like this. So I think like NZD-CHF could be a very good wait. Wait for the first high here and then for the change of character, or wait for the higher blue dotted line and then just sell it with a wider stop loss. NZD-CAD, yes, no, so NZD-CAD I talked about. NZD-CAD is not very clear at the moment. NZD-CAD is not very clear at the moment. Like, you have some liquidity still open here and here. So it's best to wait at the moment for those highs to get taken before any further shorts. EURUSD now going up. Yes, that's good. AUD-USD. AUD-USD has potential to push up again. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would buy this is because it's at the low of the range. Yeah, that. For the rest, this thing is really as ugly as, again, something very ugly. It has nothing that would really persuade me to get into it. It's moving sideways. That's all I can say. It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. So the only thing we can look at is a potential buy. Wait for maybe it to break out with some momentum. It's ranging here already since last week as well. But we need some red folder news. We need some new directions to be chosen. EuroCAD short, like, guys, EuroCAD short, like, if you have not yet put a fork in your eye, then you can clearly use the eyes, guys, and see that it's trending upwards. It's very, very, very fucking bullish. So why would I fucking sell it? If this thing is trending up like a madman already since what? Since beginning of this year. Because creating higher highs, creating higher lows. Again, guys, I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just joking around a bit. But this thing is obviously trading at a support level. It's ranging. So it's ranging and it's trending upwards. So like sell is like further away from anything that you can think of at the moment for me. Like, again, that's just the way that I trade, right? Yeah, I mean, I understand you can look at it from the perspective of, hey, break up. Hey, Fab, we have another break up. Fab, we have another break up. Fab, here we have a breakdown. So I'm now bearish and I'm looking for a short position. But yeah, I mean, in a range structure, it doesn't really matter too much. And second of all, the daily time frame is bullish. The weekly time frame is bullish. The monthly time frame is bullish. Everything is bullish, bullish, bullish. So, yeah, bullish. That's all I can really say. Bullish. I don't really speak a different language than bullish. CAD yen. Let it just drop a little bit more. Give it some time. And then from this low, we can look for longs. GBPUSD, this thing is also pushing up higher. Let this thing be. This thing is obviously also still, if you look at it from like, let's say the higher time frame perspective here on the daily, here we had the BOS up, here we ended up BOS up, and all we've simply done now is maybe fill the overall retracement. So we've retraced all the way back down into discount, and we've made a connection with the overall sell down before the buy up. So together with the yearly open, this just has the potential now to maybe keep pushing up higher. There was a period where the downside momentum was very high, and it was good to get into more shorts, but it seems that the pound has kind of like priced in this budget stuff that's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm not really a fan of selling it anymore. I'm more looking at just upside continuation. So this could maybe be a good play. We liquidated here a lot of early buyers. They get liquidated on this wick, and now it seems that there's somewhat of an internal trend heading up higher, where we have a clear push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down, push up. So maybe just look for those continuation trades there on GBPUSD. Yeah, EURUSD I've talked about a lot. So for who wants to know about the budget in the UK and the budget decision, ultimately it comes down to the fact that for a country to function, it imposes tax on its, let's say, people. Now, when a country like the United Kingdom has a tax deficit, meaning that they don't have enough tax to pay for all the problems that they have, such as, let's say, healthcare, roads, schools, teachers, and they don't have enough money for that, they get into a tax deficit. Now, to fill up this tax deficit, what do? They either increase taxes or they take on massive amounts of debt. Now, the UK government has already said that they're not really looking into taking on more amounts of debt, but they're looking to increase tax on, for example, people with money. Now, this tax hikes on, for example, large businesses who employ a lot of people, such as, let's say, a supermarket. In your country, probably a supermarket chain is one of the biggest kind of like companies that you have in your country. Now, what happens when you increase the amount of tax that a supermarket needs to pay? What happens? The guy who owns the supermarket is not going to say, well, the 5% extra tax or the 10% extra tax that you're going to impose on me, I'm just going to pay it out of my own pocket. No, what does the guy do? He just raises the price of your eggs. He raises the price of your, whatever. And again, this gets passed on to consumers, gets passed on into whatever. People can afford even less. People get into more debt, and it's kind of like a death spiral. It's kind of like pathetic in a way. But long story short, it screws up the country even more. So yeah, that's why the pound sold off so much. And it's kind of like the same as in Japan. Japan is also focusing on fiscal stimulus, and that's causing the Japanese yen also to weaken. So yeah, that's kind of like very shortly explained how that works. Swiss yen sells. I'm going to let you guys figure that one out yourself. Unless you know something fundamentally that I do not, then please enlighten me and make me see the same light as you to sell this. Because I want to have the same light as you have had, or the same dreams. Haven't you seen Gary's economics about the UK? No, I have not. I mean, maybe Swiss yen will sell off. I don't know, but now I see. You see a supply zone here. Yeah, very nice supply zone indeed. Very strong supply zone. I would also sell this, man. Let's see. Looks good to sell, man. Yeah, lol. I think 80 NZD is also at an interesting level for anybody interested. I'm looking, GN is pushing now higher. I'm looking at GJ, G Swiss, G CAD, GA. Yeah, so pound is increasing. Yeah, I mean, guys, a lot of waiting. I think NZD/JPY could sell off a little bit more. It's at the top of the range. Gold still bullish. Silver still bullish. Yeah, it's pretty much it. I think CAD yen is pretty much the only clean one, and USD CAD, if I'm very honest. USD CAD long if it retraces deeper, and a CAD yen long if it retraces deeper as well. I think those are the two pairs that we're focused on at the moment. For the rest, we just need to wait until the market kind of like makes it move a bit, because at the moment there's just not a lot of movement. USD yen still has potential to drop down a little bit lower as well. And yeah, guys, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Don't waste your money on failing challenges. Don't waste your money on blowing whatever. Let's just backtest a bit. I'll try and go live this afternoon inside Discord or if you guys are down. So make sure to join the Discord, and we'll do some chatting there and some backtesting there. Yeah. Let me arrange. So if you want to join, make sure to join the Discord. I'll go live there later. Yeah. Let's do that, and let's keep it here. I think we've discussed pretty much everything. And yeah, just thanks guys for joining in. Wish you all a fantastic afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. And we speak inside Discord, guys. Thanks, and speak soon.